Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out another game from the LD27 competition with the theme of 10 seconds. This is Time Frame and it was developed by a small group of developers who were calling themselves X70X. So as I start walking here, we'll take a look around and start to get the feel of what it is that we're looking at. So the concept here is that we're taking something that should take place over the course of 10 seconds and we're stretching it out to last for 10 minutes. Now how that's going to manifest in the actual gameplay is kind of unbeknownst to me at this point, but I have a feeling it's going to result in a lot of really cinematic looking, quite beautiful and striking moments, which if you haven't already been getting that impression, well, and look around, it's pretty wild. So we've got this big, open, expansive landscape that's reminding me a lot of a combination of Shadow of the Colossus, you might remember the PS2 game, and cross that with Journey, the PSN indie hit that I believe took a whole bunch of awards in the last big Game Awards ceremony. So if we look around, there's like this crazy structure. It looks like maybe an aqueduct or a bridge or something. It looks maybe a little bit spine-like, like vertebrae off in the distance, or maybe some sort of a coliseum, but it's kind of sprawling in a way that doesn't really quite make sense. They've got a few towers off on the horizon, which I want to explore all of. But I'm not sure if we'll have enough time, because as I said, this lasts about 10 minutes, so we might not get to see everything on the first run through. So we're just walking through just a big old set of terrain here, and this is a Unity game, I should mention. So it is actually, it's taking a little bit of a frame rate hit in my case. I'm not sure if that'll be the case with everyone, but I think it was probably worth the give and the take considering the size and the scope of this landscape. I don't really see that too often, especially in Unity games. So I kind of want to get up someplace high and see if maybe there's something I can see over this ridge that might clue me into where I should actually be walking, because right now this is totally up in the air for me. Hopefully I should be able to walk up fairly sheer cliff faces. And I do want to comment, of course, the music has been absolutely beautiful so far, as well as the visual aesthetic. We've got these bits of God rays coming over this ridge. There's a very orangey pink hue. Everything seems like it's very cohesive. We're in one of those moments that's very much quite picturesque, I have to say. And it's also reminding me a little bit of Proteus. Maybe it's just the fact that the sun has those little speckles around it or something, but wow, that is really pretty as you see those rays of light going over that edge. And then you've got all these little bits of like carved out depth mapping going on in all the rockscape. And I really want to get in there and look at everything, but then again, if I spend too long, I might miss something important. Alright, so I should be able to navigate around this edge here. I think I'll have no problem. I just want to test. No, I cannot jump, and I cannot run, and I cannot duck. Trying out all the default Unity button mappings, none of them seem to be yielding much fruit. So let's keep walking in this direction. I want to head over to whatever this structure is off in the distance. There's like a spire, and then to the left of it, this vertebrae-shaped bridge, or something like that anyway. The landscape is also reminding me a little bit of Overgrowth, just for the sake of naturalism. I don't think I've seen a whole lot that have looked quite that nice. It's also evoking maybe a little bit of like one of those war-style games like Project IGI or Arma or something like that. Just in the fact that there's, so much precision given to the actual landscape. Although you can still see the little, the polygonal edges as they show up there on each one. I see those triangles all over the place, and there's little bits of grass and stuff speckled about. But I think really the thing that makes it so impressive is just the way the light is bouncing off all the surfaces. So we'll continue to move on here, climbing up another ridge, and I want to just get somewhere really high up so I can look down and see everything going off into the distance. I mean, it's one thing to see it from the bottom looking up, but it's a whole nother thing to see it from the top looking down. And I really am interested in knowing where we're going with this concept, because I have a feeling this could be something really cool. Now, the developer commented on the LD page for this game that they wanted to bring in some like landscape items that will give you a stronger feeling of time being slowed down, like leaves maybe falling off a tree or birds moving through the sky, and they want you to feel like time has stopped and you're in this almost like a state of stasis as things around you sort of move just slightly, but they're so slow that you almost can't even tell. I mean, I can't really imagine what it would feel like. Oh wow, look at this, we've got a whole bunch of buildings now. That is beautiful. But what must it feel like to be moving through time if it's all slowed down like that? It must feel like the world is jelly around you or something. Oh, that's so pretty. I have to get in there and look around. Oh, I see a fountain from here, and it looks like the particles of water are frozen in the air. So that's maybe the first thing that's really given us the hint of what exactly the concept is as far as how it'll manifest. Oh, and I should mention there isn't really any timer or anything, so I'm not sure if we'll hit any specific point where the game will just cease to exist and, close itself. If that is the case, I'll jump back in and do a closing, but I think that is kind of an interesting concept because it makes you value your time in the game in a slightly different way that you might have not normally done. If I had had infinite time to walk around this, I would have meticulously walked to all the edges, taken my time to look at every single thing, but in this case I feel like I'm sort of prodded a little bit to get to what might be the focal point so I don't miss out on that experience, and then maybe in further playthroughs I might want to go and re-examine some of the things I missed. That is so pretty. Look at that, the way it gets from like a vivid peachy pink and then it fades out to more like a tan. That gradation is quite pretty. Oh, look at that. Actually, it looks a little bit more like shards of glass in this case, but I think that might just be a constraint of the Unity engine, and 48 hours in development time is absolutely incredible to me that anyone can make a game with this sort of a scale or a scope in that short of an amount of time. So where do we want to walk around in here? There seems to be quite a few buildings. I'm not sure if I can walk through them, though. I think a lot of them seem to be maybe sealed. It looks like a lot of just solid blocks, but I'm not 100% sure yet because I haven't walked around everything. Just sort of want to take in all the qualities of the light, see how it bounces off the sides of the certain buildings and hits them in just such a way. Oh man, now you can sort of see what that bridge might have been, and it's actually got some detail to it. Now, as we get closer to the edges of the landscape here, you can see the frame rate. Well, you might not be able to see it, but I can see anyway that the frame rate seems to be improving a little bit, which is confirming my suspicion that it was just due to the scope of the vast landscape. Maybe isn't the most optimized way to do things, and that might just be indicative of Unity as an engine. I'm not really the one to ask, I suppose. But look at that. Now we can see the detail where before it was all sort of silhouetted by the bright sunlight. Now we can see the nitty-gritty of the fact that there are like little edges and bevels and all sorts of things going on the sides there. Yeah, it's definitely feeling a lot like Journey. Minus some of the sandstorms and the, extending your scarf and such. That game is really beautiful. I wish they would go ahead and make it for PC so I could make an indie impressions on it. Now, is there anything else to see? It seems like I'm sort of coming to maybe a dead end here. I'm just continuing to walk around this little town area and see if there's anything worth noting. I mean, so far I don't really get the impression that there's much, and I have to be careful how I say this because I don't want it to come across sounding mean or anything, but like I don't get a lot of sense that this necessarily reinforces the theme all that much, because right now, the fact that we've stretched the 10 seconds out, or the 10 minutes down, the other way around, 10 seconds out to 10 minutes, I don't know why that keeps confusing me. Oh, goodness, there's something going on in the sky right now. Alright, so I guess I will just eat my words before I go any further. I am very curious to see what this is about. Let's get up. Okay, we've got the sound swelling. I think it might have been timed for how long it might have taken us to make this little meandering journey from our origin point to where we happen to be right now. So there is some sort of cataclysmic event perhaps coming in the sky, and it's very, very much slowed down. Having played a whole bunch of BeamNG Drive lately, it's kind of an interesting thing seeing other games do slow motion now. Oh, that looks like an asteroid. Oh my goodness, what is going to happen here? Is it going to crush the city? I might have gone too far out of the way. Maybe now I can't see everything quite as well. Oh, the whole lighting and coloration has changed. Or is that just the end? Cataclysm has struck. Man, what a soundtrack. Really nicely done. Now we're in another moment of pure white. This seems to be happening a lot to me lately. Anything else going to happen here? Just wait it out for a moment. The music is still going, so that's what's making me wonder if maybe I shouldn't stick around for a few moments. And it looks like I can still move my viewpoint around, even though you have no way of knowing that, because I see the frame rate still changing as I'm looking in certain directions. Alright, maybe that is the end. Sounds like the music might be fading out now. I maybe triggered that final asteroid by walking into a certain position on the map, or maybe I got ahead of myself. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's time-based or the fact that I walked that far. It could be one or the other. But it seems like we're still on this white screen, so I guess we'll wrap things up. That was Time Frame. Definitely worth another look. I kind of want to go ahead and play this through again and just see if I can pick out anything different the second time through, or at least be in a better position or perspective to see when that asteroid hits what that is going to do before everything fades to white. I think there's quite a bit of stuff to see there if you just take the time to look around. So I would absolutely love to see this developed into a further, more exploratory adventure with a little bit more to it. Give those details that the developer expressed that they didn't have time for in the 48 hours, and just see how much you could get out of that concept. I have to wonder, though, if you add a lot more resource-intensive stuff to it, like, more polygons and things animating in various ways, I think that might actually slow down the frame rate a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'm maybe the only ones having that issue. If that's not the case, or if that is the case that I am the only ones having that issue, then don't even listen. But I worry a little bit that it could make things a little bit framey. Then again, I guess it could just knock the resolution down a little bit more, but who knows? So that was definitely a very cool experience, probably one of the most elegant ones I've seen done in 48 hours, so kudos to the developers on this one. Very cool, highly recommended, and the link for this one is going to be right available down in the description of this video. You can either play it as a download, or I believe there's also a web player version of it too, so if you want to try it out, there shouldn't be much standing in your way. Again, maybe it's slightly more beefy rig if you want to do it at a high resolution or something, but we'll see. I'd love to hear your comments, actually, see if that is actually the case or if that was just my computer having an issue. But I don't want to harp on that anymore, so that will be that for today's episode. Thank you everyone for coming by and watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing it, so feel free to let me know in the comments, what did you think about this one? What did you think was the concept, how it applied to the 10-second theme? What would you have done differently? What would you have added or changed to make this a little bit more of an engaging or exciting experience, if you think that's even necessary? Just anything you had that was running through your mind, sort of the way that I go as I play through these games, sort of free association, whatever was happening as you were watching the video. Feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you all. And if you'd like to hear more in the series, there's actually over 500 other games that I've done. You can check those all out at indie-impressions.com. They're all tagged and categorized for you, so you can get to just what you want to see. If you want to look at free games, games from the LD competition, shooters, strategy games, surreal games, all of that stuff is tagged for you, so feel free to look through and let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see over there on the site. I do take suggestions. I've also got my other social media information right in the description, so while you're going to check this game out, feel free to peruse some of my other stuff as well. So thank you again for everybody coming by. I really would love for you to come back again tomorrow. I do a new episode every single day without fail. I've been going for over a year straight. So hopefully I'll see you back here then, and I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to you later, guys.